Before there were nations, before even names, there was dust ready. Fire was our first conquest waged. Light wrestled from darkness. We learned to tell stories to Vern, and through stories, we became more than beasts.
From scattered tribes, we built communities, Amidi, the first sparks of civilization.
In the cradle of Mesopotamia, we tamed the rivers Tigris and Euphrates.
Writing gave memory to our deeds kinged, and power to those who controlled it.
To reach the gods, we built upward Seine. Faith became architecture. Nature reminded us tape. We were never truly in control.
But every ruin became foundation for rebirth.
South, another power stirred Beflu, Egypt, the kingdom carved by the Nile.
Stone by stone, they reached for eternity.
Here, immortality was inked in stone.
Power and divinity became one face.
Across the sea, new thinkers would rise.
In Greece, the mind self became a battlefield for truth. Here, ideas ruled stronger than kings.
But thought gave birth to ambition, Avery, and ambition to war. The age of heroes returned in bronze and blood.
Greece fought, Greece fought. For pride, for city, for the gods. At Thermopylae, courage became legend.
Across the east, an empire vast as the horizon awoke Persia.
Where Greece sought honor, Persia sought dominion.
And in war, humanity learned the cost of greatness.
Empires were lines on paper, drawn and erased by blood. Then came a man who would chase eternity and exalt. Alexander. He would unite Greece and carve a world under one dream.
Eastward they went, through deserts, mountains, and myth.
He saw not borders, but destiny.
Cities fell, cultures blended, and a legend was born.
But like all men, the conqueror met silence.
In the west, a small settlement stirred.
Rome. Built by shepherds, ruled by ambition.
Here, words were sharper than swords.
Romel's legions marched with discipline unmatched.
Their empire was not built, it was taken.
Every conquest redrew the map of the world. Luxury replaced simplicity.
Every boy dreamed of the Legion.
But within power's walls, betrayal grew.
Then came Caesar and Teaser, the man who would turn republic into empire.
Farmers, hunters, wanderers, taif, bound by struggle.
In hardship, unity was born. And from small hands came great dreams.
Tribes became alliances. Alliances became vision.
The Latins took shape to go, the roots of Rome.
Survival demanded strength and blood. They fought for soil, for pride, for tomorrow. And from chaos fatigue, order would rise.
The first stones of Rome were laid by weary hands.
They prayed to many now, yet were watched by destiny.
7 hills, 1 dream.
Romulus and Remus, myth and memory intertwined.
Romulus Pound, the man who would name a world.
Rome was born told, not in peace, but in purpose.
And purpose soon became power.
Discipline forged an army unlike any other. They fought like one body, one will. And nations knelt before the wolf of Rome.
Strength built monuments that whispered eternity. And trade carried Roman dreams beyond horizons.
Speech became law. Law became empire. Empire.
Knowledge flowed through veins of marble halls.
They brought water to the desert calm, civilization to chaos. With wealth came indulgence.
And entertainment became blood. Men became God's light, and gods became fragile. Empire demanded more, flesh-inged, always more. The sea was theirs confirmed, the world within reach.
But victory always demands a price.
For every rise, there is a fall.
Greed began where unity once stood.
Even stone feels the weight of corruption.
Trust died first.
Then came isolation.
Wisdom forgotten, arrogance remained.
And the cost of empire was always human.
Storms were coming to hand, both in heaven and on earth.
Beyond its borders, the world sharpened its blades. The wolves were gathering. And once again, Rome reached for the sword.
They left behind peace to defend it.
Every empire fears the night.
And the night was coming. This was Rome, the greatest story ever written in blood.
When dawn returned, it found a world reshaped.
From the ashes, they built again, stronger, prouder. For Rome was more than an empire. It was an idea.
An idea of law, of power, of endless dominion.
No river too wide, no sea too deep, no throne too high. Rome had risen from dust and now believed itself eternal.
At its height, Rome was the heartbeat of the world.
It built wonders meant to outlive time itself.
Here, politics was theater, and every word carried the weight of empire.
Art became their language Asred. Beauty, their belief.
They conquered not only lands, but nature itself.
But glory demanded spectral sabresi, and spectral demanded blood.
For some, death was survival's stage.
They fought not for empire, but for a moment's immortality.
Mercy was entertainment.
As men died for sport, others drowned in excess.
Wealth replaced virtue. Gold became God.
For every palace, there were 10 shadows.
It ruled 3 continents, Bonagia, but could not rule its hunger. Every victory fed another war.
Peace was a word spoken between battles.
And power, like stone, begins to crack.
Conspiracy bred where silence was safest.
Even emperors feared the dark. Every god forged by men must fall as men do.
The empire fought itself tainted and began to rot from within.
The world was changing, and the empire didn't notice.
Ages turn, unseen but unstoppable.
Far away, new powers gathered knowledge and faith.
Rome ruled the body. Others began to rule the mind.
In shadows, a new faith whispered hope.
Faith would suffer loose, but it would not die.
Until one man saw a sign in the sky and changed history.
Rome embraced a god it once hunted.
The empire was reborn of Heng, not in marble, but in belief. The gods of old faded, and a new light rose above the ruins.
Faith had conquered the sword.
Kings now bowed to the unseen. The empire found salvation tranquil, but lost its soul of stone. Old gods fell with the dust of empires.
In the East, Thune, a new empire glittered like gold.
In the West, marble turned to dust. And beyond the rivers, the forgotten tribes marched. Rome's borders bled faster than it could heal.
Even the proudest legions could no longer stand alone.
For the empire that promised eternity had become mortal. But even as swords fell, knowledge was hidden, was heard, and saved.
The eternal city trembled.
Silence where once the world's heart beat.
And then the barbarians came.
History shattered on stone streets.
Even kings ran from their own thrones.
The center of the world was burning.
Empires die, but love endures.
And from every ruin, the next world begins. Carrying memory across the dying empire. Rome had ended, but history had just begun.
Darkness fell across Europe. But in the ashes, new kingdoms would rise.
The age of Rome had frozen Hattind, but not ended.
Men rebuilt with what history left behind. The world was reborn, forged from ruin, and from dust came kingdoms. But the echoes of empire still whisper through time. The stones remain tall, reminders of who we were.
For the story of Rome is the story of...
Empires rise, fall, and return in every age.
We still fight the same battles, only the armor has changed.
But hope remains our oldest invention. We build, we learn, we remember. From dust to kingdoms, from kingdoms to dreams. Because every empire begins within us.
Our story is not over. It's only changing form. We are the fire that never dies.
Rome's legions marched able, not to conquer, but to survive. They were shadows of gods once worshipped.
The empire cracked, not from outside, but from within.
Trade stopped. Voices vanished. Only the echo of glory remained.
And as borders turned to smoke, new names began to rise.
Barbarians, they called them. But they were the next chapter.
They came not as destroyers, a tiding, but survivors.
And the old gods watched their temples fall.
Knowledge Lueng, smuggled through fire, hidden beneath faith.
In silence, they saved what the world had forgotten.
The empire was gone, but its spirit waited beneath the ice.
And from darkness, iron was reborn.
From ruin came resilience. And humanity began again.
Every crown forged from another's ashes. From dust, they built walls and called them home.
Faith filled the silence, empire left behind.
The age of empires ended. The age of nations had begun.
Out of chaos came life again. Louder, brighter, unstoppable.
They built not for kings, but for eternity.
In script and silence, wisdom whispered again.
And faith became the sword of nations.
They carried crosses into foreign sands, believing heaven waited beyond blood.
Empires once again rose the grain, not for gold, but for God.
And in holy war, humanity bled the same color.
Those who stayed behind began to map the world anew. While one world burned, another learned.
They measured the heavens to purpose and found the divine in geometry.
Across oceans unseen, other worlds were already writing their own verses.
Then came the compass content, mankind's new faith, direction.
Curiosity became courage, and courage became destiny. They sailed not to escape the world, but to understand it. And the sea, once feared, became a bridge.
When the world met itself for the first time alone, it did not yet know the cost.
Trade carried both treasure and tyranny. For every discover, a conquest. Humanity redrew the map in Cree and rewrote its own soul.
Exploration became art. Art became memory.
And a generation was born, believing the world could be theirs.
The age of faith gave way to the age of invention. Iron became our servant and our master.
We learned to move faster than time itself.
And for the first time in Glorneng, the world spoke to itself. Empires now built, not from stone, but from signal.
And innocence watched power rise again.
We called it progress. History called it repetition. The world had grown police, but not yet learned. Every war began with memory acid and ended with forgetting.
From dust we rose, from fire we fall, and still we reach for heaven.
Now we stand among stars, Bavay, children of all who came before.
Empires fade, but the story remains. Out of darkness, faith lit the morning sky. In silence, they painted light into words. Hands that once held swords now shape the world anew. Art returned, first in whispers, then in songs. Creation became mankind's rebellion against despair.
Faith united the scattered as fame. Pilgrimages wove Europe together.
We built upward, toward heavens we could not see, but believed in.
Even sunlight became sacred.
Honor became the new faith, courage its prayer. The horizon called once more, and mankind answered. Trade became the blood of reborn nations. From east to west, colors returned to the human story. We looked upward, rated, and saw our smallness our wonder. The mind of man became the new frontier.
In art, we found God again, this time within ourselves.
Civilization bloomed like fire, returning to the stars.
And the word was no longer chained to kings.
Ideas spread like wildfire, unstoppable and eternal. The world grew wider, the human dream endless. Some chased glory, some chased salvation, all chased meaning. And in discovery, we found both wonder and guilt. Old lessons returned. Power never learns quietly.
We built new kingdoms, but carried the same hunger.
Every rise left its ashes for another to rebuild.
Memory fades, but stories, they return.
From Rome to now, one truth remains. Evie, we are all part of one endless dawn. We became the architects of our own destiny. The Empire now has no borders, only signals, screens, and dreams. The story of Rome became the story of us. Every civilization leaves a spark. And every dawn begins again. From dust to kingdom to eternity. We are the Empire of Memory. The next empire has already begun. The fire that built Rome will build again. The story continues. This is the story of us. Every empire leaves behind its quiet monuments. Nature reclaims what ambition forgets. Time buries greatness, but never the memory of creation. A fragment of bronze, a spark of a vanished dream.
We stare into glass and see reflections of ourselves.
History smells when the living remember to wonder.
The story of empires is only the prologue of existence. Stone, blood, code, different tongues telling the same legend. Our cathedrals now catch sunlight instead of prayers.
Progress still walks the same ancient paths.
The map has changed. The dream remains.
We reach the heavens Rome could only imagine.
From dust to kingdom, from kingdom.
This is our lineage. This is our fire. Civilizations fall, but the flame endures.
Every echo.
The builders of tomorrow are already at play. From dust, we rise again.
The kingdom was never a place. It was us.
Thank you for remembering.
Our empires now orbit the world we once feared to cross. The ghosts of Rome still whisper in our skylines. We built a new empire, Kali, not of stone, but of signal.
Our greatest conquest was not land, but connection.
From many tribes, one heartbeat remains.
We are still writing the story, one sunrise at a time.
Civilizations pass. Humanity endures.
From dust to fire to forever.
The next dawn has already begun. We are the story. But from that dust, new dreams rise, carried by those who remember.
Nature takes back what was borrowed, reminding us we were never owners, only guests. And yet, every generation forges its own destiny with the fire of those before.
From ashes of war came the iron of nations, the heartbeat of kingdoms reborn.
Stone by stone, humanity rebuilt its dream. Different lands, different tongues, but one eternal story.
The story of us, told by hands that dared to remember.
They searched the heavens, not for gods, but for meaning.
From dusk to dawn, we learned, we fell, we rose.
Our story was never of kings or wars, but of hearts that refused to surrender.
And so the flame was past flayed, not to rule, but to remember. This light became our promise, to rise again every time we fall.
Civilizations changed. Humanity remained. The same eyes that once saw dust now gaze at stars. This is our story, written across time itself. A spark that began in the dirt now lights the heavens.
Not the tale of kings, but the journey of humankind.
We built, we burned, we began again.
And still, our story continues.
What if tomorrow's ruins are already being built today?